Congratulations, Robert. How does that feel?
I love those victories when you actually get a good few goals and you can actually stand just and watch and just smile for the rest of the half. It was wonderful.
Yeah, we've got to talk about Martha with a hat-trick. What's been the difference for her? She seems so full of confidence right now.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing, right? If you give a good player the trust to play and the self-confidence to play, you can see what she's really made of. And she's a good character. She's pressing for 90 minutes, but she's also so sharp when she gets the chances. And I think those players are national team players who are on the bench in the biggest clubs and so on. Sometimes you can find that in them if you give them the trust. Grace Clinton is the same. I mean, you give them trust and they just shine.
And for you personally, to be with 9 points from the first 4 games, how does that feel?
Very good, very good. I mean, I didn't really focus on too much about the result these first games. I really wanted to make sure we look the way we want to look. But of course, 3 wins in a row, 9 points in the table, it gives us really good self-confidence to continue to play the way we want to do it. So that's a good one. But also the second half, when we actually play the way we do and how we try to score even more goals, that's the most fun with this game, I think, because we are doing some really good at football today.
Could I also just check how Jess now? Is she okay? She came off. I'm sure she was.
Yeah, no, it was more like she ran a lot in the first half and she's not used to this tempo because she haven't played so many minutes. So I just feel like Drew was on the bench. I needed her to be more secure on the ball, so there was no injury at all. It's more like saving her energy.
Great, thank you.
Robert, Aston Neville got the second goal today to give your side the lead. She's been a star throughout all of the season. If she continues this form, do you think she can maybe return to the England squad?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, how she's so good in defending, right? Nobody actually take her there, and now she's coming up in that position I want her to actually go and score goals on the second post as well. So who knows? She's a dominant player in a team that play really good football. So why not? But I'm not really sure what the fullbacks they have in the national team actually. But I think she's been brilliant the first games.
And last season, Aston Villa were 5th best in the league and were one of the star teams. This season they've struggled, but do you think beating them this emphatically shows to a marker of how your side have improved this season?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a really tough away game. I mean, look at the striker they have today when they start the game. It's one of the best, starting 3 up there in the league, I would say. And when they score an early goal as well, and we just make sure we return to game and win it, I think that's a brilliant one. And I think Aston Villa will be higher up in the table. I'm quite sure of that. But when you get a bad start in the league, it's quite tough for them. And this loss was quite tough for them, I think. And they have tough games to the next rounds as well. So who knows? But hopefully we can have them under us in the table, because now we have 9 points to them, and that's a big step actually.
And with the international break, are you going to take a rest, or is it all work continues ahead of Everton in 2 weeks?
Yeah, we actually try to use that time to actually train even harder with the players we have. We are still not there where we want to be, so we're going to make sure we work even harder and give them even more feedback, because it's only a half squad basically. So I'm going to use that time to recover a little bit, but also train really hard.
Thank you.
How important do you think instilling that confidence in your younger players has been to getting such a big start so far?
I mean, when I was a player, I kind of failed my career just because I didn't get the trust. I didn't get those minutes I needed. So when you can give that to those players and they can actually, Grace she struggled the first 20 minutes today, but when she can be on the pitch and actually get time to get back in the game, I know that that's important for a player. Then of course you have the bench players who doesn't really like that, but I need to pick players that I think is the right for today, right? So I know when you give the right players the right trust, they're gonna grow, and you can see that today.
Robert, sorry, I know we're only 4 games in, but the Spurs women now sitting top of the WSL. How does that feel?
I love to be on top of the table. I want to stay there, of course, but I don't really look at the table too much right now. I'm looking at how we play, how we press, how we're going to improve. Quite boring answer, but that's the whole thing for us. We need to get better and better and better. And if we continue winning games, then we're going to end up in a high position in the table. But for me, this first year is to rebuild and make sure we play good football, and right now we do that. So that's the main thing.
You mentioned a couple of weeks ago that the plan was in the second season that you'd go for a Champions League spot. Do you think realistically it could happen this season with the way that you're playing?
Everything is possible in football, and the players is taking steps every week. But I know that we're going to lose games. I know we're going to struggle some games, because that's the phase of learning something new. So I hope we can be up there already this first year, but I don't expect that, and I don't really go and hope for that. I'm going to make sure we get better every week, and if we end up in the top of the table for the Champions League this year, I mean, I'm not going to cry for that. I'm going to be happy for that, but I'm not pushing the team there yet. Keep focusing on the performance.
Martha Thomas, 6 WSL goals now in 4 games. She only scored 6 in the last 2 seasons for Manchester United. What have you changed in her game?
I haven't changed too much. I just let her be on the pitch, basically, right? So when you use her in that way, and that's a 9 in the way we play, she get a lot of plays moving around her. which means that she ends up in a good position basically all the time, right? And when she's so sharp, when she gets the chances, then you score goals. And I think when you look at her, she's so dominant right now, and make sure she's got 6 goals already. So, but the main thing is actually how she defends as well. I mean, she's running so much and helping us to actually protect the goal. So that's the 9 I want right now, and she's doing it brilliant.
Rob, would you say you're further on than what you thought you would be at this stage of the season?
Yeah, I must say. I mean, winning 3 games in a row, I also almost get a point against Chelsea is good result, but mainly the performance is really good, and it's quite good to see them playing the football the second half and how they dictate the game. So I'm impressed by them. I'm a little bit surprised, but I'm getting used to it now because they're so good. But then it's more like, how can we take the next step when we're actually perhaps losing a game or so. So it's going to take a new phase soon, but I hope we can still win though.
And lastly from me, Becky Spencer with another couple of great saves today.
Yeah, I mean, when I signed this club, and I didn't really know how much she could play, because last year she was struggling with injuries and everything, but she came to the World Cup and did amazing there. And I think the way we play inspire her to play the way she want to play, right? So I think she's just so happy to play, and when you're happy you play better football than if you struggle, right? So I think she's amazing.
Thank you.
Like, it's not just Becky, but you saw your centre backs today also just very comfortable on the ball, knocking it around the penalty area with Becky. How much have you sort of been impressed by what they've been doing?
I think Molly's from day one has been brilliant. Then we have struggled with, Luana's coming as a new player, not speaking English fluently, but she's taking steps, and we have really good bench players in that position well. But the last 3 games, Luana has taken every duel. She's been so calm on the ball as well. So they're playing very well together, and with Becky, right? And also with the Finnish players in front of them. But I think what you see right now, they play against one of the top strikers, the one who's actually won the goal scorer league last year, and they just take every duel with her, and they smash her every duel, and that's impressive actually. So I'm very pleased with them.
And I guess this is also the second game in a row when you've gone behind and come back. So obviously you don't want to make a habit of that, but it shows some strength of character.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 different sides. You shouldn't give away those goals or those set pieces so they score goals, so we need to improve there. But then when you see that character that you keep playing and you score goals in different ways, that shows that the team is actually having a good character. And for me, working environment is the most important thing. It's not actually tactics. And if they can do that, and you can see the whole squad is taking, they keep together, and that's the most important thing for me as a leader, basically.
Thanks guys. Thank you.
Thank you.